What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today we have the Jaguar XJC V12 Coupe, or at least that's what Hot Wheels is telling us that it is. So this one debuted, I think, in M or N case for 2025, and it is one of the last new castings of the year that we are going to be reviewing. So let's take a closer look at it and see if it is what it is believing itself to be. Let's get started with our casting. So obviously this looks a little bit different than a Jaguar XJC V12 Coupe is supposed to look. And as a matter of fact, I thought about skipping it entirely based off of these things in the back here. I was like, that was a dead giveaway to me that something wasn't quite right here, and that this was in fact, in my opinion, I thought it was a customized Hot Wheels botch job basically. But we're actually being lied to. We've been bamboozled because this is the Jaguar XJC Broadspeed. So not sure why they didn't just put the proper name on there, probably a licensing thing or something like that. But this is basically the racing version that was brought to you by Broadspeed back in the day, from what I've been able to gather. So does it resemble that car? Yes, it does. So proportionally speaking, all is pretty good. It's a little bit off in some places, but not by a really bad amount or anything like that. It's still okay. So there it is compared to the real life car. And I'm happy to say that these weird things in the back are present on the real life car. So, you know, there is a reason to pick this one up. It's not a complete fantasy modification mobile thing going on here. Now, everything you're going to see painted white here, this is going to be your main die-cast body, and it's going to look very solid. You are going to get mirrors on this one, and those look good. We do have the base, which stretches up here, and it also kind of wraps into this splitter section down through there, and then again, like the very edge of the bumper. Now, you'll see this chrome strip kind of going around the outside here, and it also comes up into this like grill section. That is going to be the interior, which also pokes out here into the exhaust. So that's some cool engineering there. And then the window piece is obviously what's going to be these kind of like things that look like boom boxes here in the back. Really not sure what those are. I'm sure somebody will know what it is though. So overall, casting's been engineered quite well. The details and body lines are definitely there and looking good. I think once you realize that it is the Broadspeed race car, I think this is actually quite nice. So paint and deco. So what do we got here? We have just kind of this nice Jaguar livery going on here. Now, while this is not accurate to any real life liveries that I could find, it at least is paying homage, and you can definitely see that that's kind of like, it definitely took inspiration from some real life liveries. So it gets a stamp of approval in my book. The biggest gripe for me is that blue window though. Yeah, that's never been a thing, especially when the window piece incorporates these things in the back, which definitely should not be blue. But other than that, I would say the deco is quite good. That livery looks nice. So for our details, starting up front here, there are no headlight tampos, which is a shame. Not surprising when you factor in how much the livery tampo work actually incorporates most of the car. But yeah, no tampo headlights or anything like that. Still looks overall pretty good though, because the grille is pretty intricate for a mainline. Coming down to the sides here, you do get these kind of nice looking wheels, which are about as accurate, I guess, as a mainline wheel could be to what the real life car ran with. The windows are down on this particular car on both sides, so that's kind of a unique thing. You do get exhaust tips poking out here on the sides. Coming into the rear section, we are naked, and that is a very much a shame here. I'm thinking of doing some decals for the lights and the tail lights of this one, but I don't know how much of interest there really will be in that. And then making our way to the top here, we do have these things that I don't really know what they are, but they are cool since they are on the real life race car. Interior, from what you can see, is actually pretty nice. And like I said, it does stick out here for your exhaust and the grille, and then some of these kind of trim pieces back here in the bumper section. So overall, the detailing, not amazing, but it is decent, I would say. Moving into the roll test, it's a Hot Wheels mainline. Obviously, it's going to roll, and it's going to roll very nicely. When I put this one on the scale, It comes out to be 34.55 grams, so it is a little bit heftier than the average mainline, so that is a nice thing too. Moving into our pros and cons. The biggest pro is, as far as I know, this is the only Broadspeed XJC that has been done in 1/64 scale, and if that's not accurate, it's definitely going to be the easiest way to add this car to your collection in this particular trim, whatever you want to call it. So that is definitely pretty cool and definitely a good pro. I would say the livery is perhaps another pro. I'm not going to put it there just because it's not like as close as Hot Wheels has done in the past, but I do like that livery. So, cons. There's obviously one that is kind of a mistake in my opinion, and that is the blue windows. I don't really understand why Hot Wheels does this sometimes, especially with a brand new casting. That was not really acceptable in my opinion. So that's a big miss for me and definitely a con. The other big con is going to be the lack of front headlights and rear taillights of any kind. I understand it because it got such a nice livery on there and I can make my own. But obviously I'm always going to include those on the cons. For some quick size comparisons, here we have it with the Matchbox Jaguar XJ60, kind of like the street legal version of this car, I would say. And then you got the Hot Wheels Jaguar Mark 1. And then here we have it with some premium British cars with the Jaguar CX75 from Mini GT, which we recently reviewed over there. And then over here on the right, you have the McLaren 720S GT3 from Spark. So, let's find some recommendations here. The hype level, did it live up to its hype? Maybe. I guess it really kind of depends on if you knew what you were looking at. If you thought you were going to be getting a regular Jaguar XJC V12 Coupe, you're definitely disappointed here because this does not look like the stock version of that car really all that much at all. Now, if you did know this was the Broadspeed racing version, you're probably very excited and it definitely lived up to the hype for you. So it's definitely going to be a maybe on that hype category. The value, what, $1.25, $1.30 now? They just seem to keep going up and up and up. Even with that little bit of an increase, I would still say the value is still pretty good. You're missing a few things, but livery kind of makes up for it, so it's all right. Community feedback has been decent. I would say a ton of people skipped this one because they thought that it was kind of a Hot Wheels mod kind of deal, Hot Wheels Skunk Works operation type thing going on. Because I saw when I posted this on my Instagram and mentioned that it was the Broadspeed racing machine, that a lot of people suddenly who didn't know that were now more interested in picking this one up. So, decent is what I'll say on that community feedback. I would say this is a really cool car. It's just been slightly mislabeled, and that has led the community a little bit astray on this. It was not even remotely hard to find on the pegs, which I guess is kind of a good thing for me. For the $1-ish price point, I would say it's still pretty good. The lacking of lights is definitely a bummer. However, the blue windshield is really quite a shame and really, I think, is a mistake on Hot Wheels' part. Not sure why they went with that. So, with all that being said, though, I would still recommend this one. However, I would definitely window swap it with the first release that does not get a blue window. I'm going to be window swapping it with the first one that gets a clear window for sure. So, with all that done and out of the way, guys, that is all I have for this review. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and do not forget to leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular video, and I will see you guys in the next video.